Oh,
There we are.
wonderful. Welcome everyone to yet another Frogland Town Hall. As you can see, this is the second one we're doing on Restream, so giving you a slightly more immersive view on our Town Hall shenanigans. A few points of discussion we're going to be going through over the course of the next hour or so. First and foremost, it's really to talk about what was shared with the flash drives, what's been open sourced, and what was really referencing Devcon. So I'll probably pass over to Lollyhops to take the lead on this one.
Yeah, sounds good. Give me 1 second to pull my screen up here. You guys all see that okay?
Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, well, we can. And hey, happy Sunday, everybody. You're all having a chill day.
All right. So just to kind of refresh everyone's memory, in case this is the first time you're hearing of this, we set up a flash drive with a bunch of folders on it to kind of be able to hand out both at Devcon and then also at the other in-person events that we'll be going to as we continue to do some of this in real life events and all of those things. And we thought it would be pretty entertaining to hand out a sketchy flash drive at a crypto conference and see who is willing to stick that in their computer. And the answer was that it was actually pretty darn well received, which I thought was very, very fun and very cool. And so a lot of the what we put onto this flash drive was set up to be a bit of a visual kind of walk through everything that we've done over the past year and kind of give people an overview of what they're getting into here. And so there are a couple, there's mostly a bunch of like TXT files and things that don't at least hopefully look suspicious or dangerous. And this is also all open sourced.
Well, I mean, they should look a little bit suspicious and a little bit dangerous, or should I say notorious, don't you think?
That is, yes, notorious is definitely a better word.
And then, I mean, you also mentioned like, other in-person events. So what else is on the cards? Or for you at least, what do you know of for the team?
So I know we're doing Art Basel in end of November. I think it's like right after Thanksgiving, basically. And then I would imagine that we're planning for NFT LA and potentially ETH Denver as well. I think those are the next ones up on the list. Anyone else? Correct.
Yeah. I don't think I'm going to be able to make Miami this year for Art Basel. Would love to, but maybe I can make it to NFT LA this year because I didn't make next year because I couldn't make that this year. And that's in what, March?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. Sorry. Yeah, just thinking about these in-person events and which one I've got to make plans to get over to the USA for.
Yeah, no, I think that's it's a big part of kind of making sure that we kind of keep our name out in the community and kind of get a chance to check in with everyone else and see where they are and what they're building and hear of any new rumblings on things that are being created or being done and get a really good sense of like a temperature gauge of where the community and everything is. So.
Yeah, they are a great networking opportunity. They really are. Having all of these collections and communities all in one space at one time. We've had a lot of fun with our frog holders at previous events. I know last Art Basel was fantastic. I'm kind of looking forward to this upcoming one as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes.
So kind of the setup that we put together here for our flash drive folders, we did it a little bit like the Matrix because how could we not? And part of the README text kind of explains all that. Where the blue pill folder, that's the one where, like as in the Matrix, the story ends. You wake up in your own bed and believe whatever you want to believe. So that one's kind of the folder where we meme the shit out of everyone because how can we not? So we've got our memes folder, which is basically comprised of a whole bunch of all of the memes that have been created from the community over the past year and plus now. So we kind of put a bunch of our favorites on there, which was pretty entertaining to go through and grab all of them first off out of either the Discord or on socials, and I go through and get to pick which ones go on and have a lot of fun with it.
Yeah, there are some pretty good memes in there. Some of my favorites.
Definitely. So I think this is
So looking through, actually, there were a bunch I'd never seen before, just because you can't have your. This one I had seen before and I love. I mean, anything office space based. Yeah.
Yeah, I try to, every time I take a run through the Discord or on socials as well, and I see something good, I try to grab it, and I renamed all the images on here, so they don't necessarily represent who the artist was for all of these. But when I snag them from Discord and when I snag them from socials, I always make sure I label the creators for our Dropbox compilation and capturing of all of the things. And it's been very fun, and it's kind of good for me to kind of take a run through those. I usually kind of skim through it again on like every Friday night and like, yes, like it's a lot of stuff that the community has created over the past year or so, and it's always a lot of fun, I think, to go back through and kind of remind us.
So that one, if you go a couple back, I actually love I love that image. No, one more, but yeah, the We Can Do It. Got that obviously not with Frog, but in a really, really cool, high quality tin one in my mom's house, which we've always had around the house. And now I'm thinking I should get a proper tin one of that done.
That would be
Frog.
excellent.
Yeah.
I think my favorite one was the To the Moon, which the GIF, because I found out it was Ebenezer who actually put that together. Because we've been wondering for quite a while, because I think it was on WhatsApp, and I typed in moon, and I saw the frog, and I didn't specifically look for a frog meme, but I saw the frog, and that kind of blew my mind. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, that one there. That's been around, that one. He's been shooting all over the place.
I think that was, I mean, it was obviously not pre-mint, because that is one of the frogs on there, but it was definitely from around like reveal time, I think, when that was created.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, literally just found out like 2 days ago, day before yesterday.
I think he was the one who did the Office Space ones as well, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, meme game is going.
Definitely.
That's a sign of a connoisseur.
Absolutely, that he is. And then, of course, what good would a sketchy flash drive be without the not prawn folder? So we've got a couple more mild
tongue-tied frogs.
Yeah, a couple mildly risque.
That's a good one.
That's one of my favorite ones. Absolutely. Anxiety chronic, ass iconic. Another good one.
So the oh fuck, you're gonna make me ribbit. I mean, I guess the place I've seen that the most is Telegram, in the chain link incantation of, oh fuck, you're gonna make me buy link.
Excellent.
Yeah, big respect for the. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, if you're not making someone ribbit, you're doing it wrong.
Jesus.
So I actually have to say, I found this back in like October or something of last year, when Froggy Digital sent me on a mission to find all the frog memes I possibly could find. And this was actually in its original state. Like, this is how I found it on the internet. So that means that someone out there has created this before we did, which I think is also pretty cool, seeing as it's frog based.
Wonderful.
Yep.
And so then we also had to have a naked folder, which I filled with a few different naked froggies as seemed appropriate.
Yeah.
And then
Nice.
we also had to have the judges totally in the naked folder, because how could you not? And then I also did put the Book of the Naked Frog into the naked folder, because even those who choose the blue pill, they should still find some level of notoriousness and some way to kind of hook them back in. That was at least my attempt.
I like it.
Got a couple different movies on here. We won't play through them, but there's like Will Frogland devs stop doing things, I think, is that one. Got a couple good.
Was that Hard Rock Nick?
Yes, yes, indeed it is.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, you really did put a lot of effort into making sure that this was fun to browse around in.
Yes, that was the hope. That was I wanted it to be something that someone kind of like skeptically wandered their way into, and then kind of found themselves entranced, which I feel like is like I feel like that's most people's journey coming into Frogland, is you're like, the fuck are all these people talking about frogs? Like, why? And then it's something that kind of captures the heart and mind. At least that's the hope. So yeah, I think this one, it doesn't want to give me a preview for some reason, but I think that one is Hazer made an amusing video where he was telling people it's so easy that it can be done even when you have 10 minutes just hanging out, and can put it together, throw it together on there, and then
Nice.
obviously our Office Space, the longer form video of it.
I was going to say I was on the toilet.
Yes, I wondered right as I was starting to talk about that. I was like, wait, maybe I could have
No, you're good.
TMI.
or I threw that out here, but yes.
No, that was the point. Was like,
Yeah.
if you can do it on the toilet, you can do it.
Yes. There we go. Thought that was worth the ad on here.
Nice.
So then if we're back into the root folder here, the red pill, that's kind of the one that's going to give you more of like the high level information, like it would pop you out of pop you out of the matrix if that's where we were. And so you get to see all of the details going on behind the curtain, so to speak, but not necessarily in character.
Okay. Sorry, completely off topic, but the Matrix. Okay. So, just your mention of it there, I felt this is something that more people need to know. Okay, so the original plan for the Matrix, for the plot, by the way, was not to present people as batteries, but actually was to present it that they were being used for expanded computation by the AI in that world, and the AI was hijacking people's brain capacity and then segmenting them off to a little part of their own brain where they're shoving them in the Matrix.
Nice.
And so, it was essentially an AI looking for more neurons, more compute.
Nice.
But the studio was like, no, people won't understand that, which, they were probably right on, but it is the better story. And they're like, no, make them batteries.
Yeah, people understand batteries. I get that, but that's a much cooler story.
Anyway, sorry. Breaking out of the Matrix, red pill. Sorry, go.
All good. That's fascinating, and I didn't know that actually about the Matrix, so that's very cool. So this is still one of my favorite things. That I think it was Dee that made this one, of all the frog eyes blinking. So I threw that little clip in anywhere I thought it was appropriate. Same as our Web3 is dead, long live Web3, which I believe was a creation from El Sapo.
Nice.
And then I also put in the Frogland manifesto in here as a TXT file, since that one is it's definitely more abstract. It's definitely one of the more kind of you definitely got to sit down and think about it a little bit. Writings from us, but I think it's also a really good one that really describes on a very high level kind of like what we're here to do, even if kind of sometimes the path that we are using to get there might deviate a little bit just from our original ideas, as happens in life and business. So then in our Good Ribbit Productions folder, we kind of have a few different kind of high key points about the way that we think about things, like primarily in Web 2 and in media production, whether you have video game or content or anything, any creation, you're kind of presenting that to an audience. Whereas in Web 3 and in co-creation and everything that we're trying to do, we're not presenting things, or we're not trying to present things to our audience and of spectators. We're trying to engage our community of participants instead, and that's been something that I know I've tried to hit on a lot. And so that's been something that was in a couple of I think it was in my Creative UK presentation back last year. And then we've got Froggy Digital, Snoop, and I at GDC. Oops. I figured that was another good one. Proof of humanity a little bit. And same thing, the image of the talk that I gave there. And then another slideshow. And then, of course, our favorite, well, that wasn't going to make it bigger, but our Fly Barber clip, our post-production clip there. Which I actually don't know that we've actually talked about that too much. Let me just play it right from the beginning here. Let me make sure. Is it still showing my screen, or is it showing the folder now?
Still the folder, I'm afraid.
Still the folder. Give me 1 second. All right, how about now?
Yes, perfect.
There we go.
I see video.
Next.
Nice.
That is one of my favorites. I absolutely love that one.
Same.
That's being used at the sort of a snippet. I'm sure there's a proper industry term for this. I'll need to check with the Hollywood team, but the idea here is the little sort of teaser at the very end of your content piece as a sign. Always makes me think of Always Sunny in Philadelphia. You always have the chap speaking backwards at the end of every episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, or what's that other one? Shh, not a doctor.
Simpsons. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So, and the other thing too, I don't know if we've actually talked about how that was made either. But that was a creation of Bugs's, where he hand drew and animated the entire clip here, in addition to some other things that may or may not be making their appearance here shortly. But that's kind of a really cool way to kind of look back at where we've come from in like the media creation industry for sure, but also a way to kind of help bring those skills and that knowledge base into this community, into the Web3 community, where it can be, it's like, as with, and I'm going to speak like I'm very old, but I'm actually just repeating Bugs' words. So he gets to have the credit for all of this. But when new industries start to arise, they typically are filled with younger people with massive ambitions and idealistic goals and a very grandiose feeling of how they can change the world, which is amazing and great and something that we need to keep doing. But a lot of the ways that we can prevent kind of following the failures and the falling into the same traps that others have fallen into before us is by making sure that we take all of that information and all of that experience into the new world, not so we necessarily have to follow it, and not that we can't adapt to the newer technologies and newer ways of doing things. But if we can kind of manage to meld the lessons learned and those knowledge bases, it I think is going to make for a much more powerful movement, and we'll be able to kind of speed run through that process rather than kind of having to deal with all the same growing pains and the same speed at which these industries can emerge, which can take a while. So anyways.
I mean, I guess that makes me think of another truism that although we look at the standouts in, like just say successful entrepreneurs, etc., most successful entrepreneurs become successful on their somewhere between their third and fifth try. It's often their third to fifth company, and are in their late 30s to early 50s. Obviously we see the outliers where that's not the case, but so I mean that's the kind of to me sounds emblematic of what you're saying there, which is making the effort to be on the forefront of something new, but also having some experience under the belt to bring along. That not everything that's been done in the past needs to be thrown out.
Yeah, definitely. And on that kind of same note there, Lobo, Ribbit 301 is actually the one who did the audio and the sound effects and the voice to go with Bugs's animation, which I think is kind of just a really good way of being able to show co-creation and collaboration on these types of work, which I think is always a good thing.
I'm always blown away when I hear Lobo's music. Ribbit 301's music. It's really, really good. He made a number of really cool Frogland songs, but he's on Sapo's Scratch Track Saturdays last night, and he's always talented chap. Always surprising how awesome his stuff is. I shouldn't say surprising, but it's just good stuff. Recommend you check it out.
Yeah, I really want to get my hands on. Well, I want him to release that track, the Ron Burgundy track, because that was really cool.
Yeah, that was awesome. I liked and I thought that was really cool too. How yesterday they had two artists that they'd had on previously and separately, and they'd just kind of, I think it was Bingus, they said, had matched that pair up as being two that they thought would sound really, really good together, and kind of orchestrated that collab a little bit. And I mean, the song that came out of it I thought was really, really incredible, and another great example of being able to kind of utilize these skills and this platform and this network in a way to kind of continue to move forward with Web3, which I think is really cool.
Yeah.
No, well, that's the point here too, right? So these videos are very decidedly low tech, low cut, designed to be keyframes specifically for an animation, and really just be a seed for what can grow out of that. I think it fills me with joy, frankly, to see people working together and collaborating who from across the world on different projects that are using this IP. This is one example. The radio drama is another one. But yeah, that's what we're all here for.
Yeah, definitely. All right, and so we had the collabs folder, which was just kind of a run through of some of the artwork and the projects that we have collaborated with, like Battlefly, Chipto's Hype, Kingpin DAO, obviously the Kozak Frog, and Stoics, and just a few other really good, and the estates as well. Some exciting images that we put in there.
I'm looking forward to partying with Gabe at Art Basel, that's for sure.
Yeah, that I think that'll be his first real event, and since he's launched the Stoics, am I remembering that correctly?
Yeah.
I mean, that sounds believable. I mean, it feels like a while now, but the Stoics launched what, 4 weeks ago, 6?
I'd say 3 weeks ago, if that, maybe 4.
That must be more than 3. Really?
I got to track down who got that frog as well and get a couple of offers their way. That's a good little frog.
Yeah, it's really cool.
They've had some. I can't entirely remember the numbers now, but they've had some big ETH offers on that frog and let them go by. I think it was like between 6 and 10, if I'm remembering correctly.
I wonder if they have any
Nice.
Notorious in their wallet. I wonder if they're a frog holder.
They were not in that wallet, at least, but it was also not a doxed wallet, so I could not figure out who else they might have in there.
Okay, so Snoop, it sounds like what you have stumbled upon wondering aloud Lollihops has already considered deeply and investigated exhaustively.
As is always.
I can't help it. I have to dig. So we also had a founders folder where I labeled basically a little our bios from the Toadex, any social media or LinkedIn or anything that we had, and then also the All Chill No Chill podcast from Hazer. I put all the MP3s on there as well. So if people weren't as into reading or maybe following or clicking some questionable links, they had the ability to kind of listen through those episodes and get a bit of an idea of who the frogs are behind the project and all of that.
You know what might be a cool idea is after we have this town hall, we should download this town hall's video and put it onto the USB stick. So there's a good run through on everything inside this as well.
There we go. That would work. So yeah, we got a lot of content on here, and it actually didn't take up that much space. I think it's only like barely 5 gigs on here.
Nice. Gives me a great little handy gadgets to hand out at Art Basel. And the USBs have Frogland on them as well, don't they?
Yes, they do.
Excellent.
And we also I dropped the legendary frogs. They have their own folder here with all of their individual frog art, which I thought those are always pretty cool. I really like those frogs.
How's the community seen all of them? Well, I suppose we've open sourced these, haven't we?
Yeah. So I don't know, because I know Scott has his as his profile pic, but I think Mama Boy just has a different frog that he just picked up as his profile picture. I don't think it's actually been officially out yet.
Yeah, no, we need to send these over to them.
I think they have them, because I know Dylan posted his into his
Dylan and Scott, but I don't think drummer Little Mo or
Fishbone.
Who's the third one? There we go. Fishbone must have his by now. No, I don't think Fishbone does. I'll double check with Scott.
Yeah.
Okay, nice. Good stuff.
And then in our partners folder, I kind of put names. They're all just a bunch of TXT files, just names and like contact information, like Twitter or websites or link trees or whatever for all of the projects that we are either working with currently or have expressed intent to work with in the future, including I think Blockchain Gaming Alliance. That's one that you set up, right, Snoop? And I don't know if we've actually really announced that yet.
Ooh, very cool. A nice piece of tidbit here. We have been approved to become members of the Blockchain Gaming Alliance, which is a good consortium of individuals who all focus on making Web3 and the gaming space that much better. So quite proud about that, and it's a logo we shall wear with pride. But yeah, definitely a good group of people to be in with.
Definitely.
I think it's actually founded by Sebastian, who's one of the co-founders of Sandbox.
Who? Sorry.
Sebastian, so one of the co-founders over at Sandbox. I think they're COO, but I've seen he's CC'd into all the emails we've been having back and forward. So cool dude.
That's awesome. All right. And then in here we also so back into the Root Red Pill folder. We have a demo, the multiplayer demo folder where we have our community gameplay trailer that Hazer made. Let me see if we'll give it. Sorry, someone talk.
I don't think so. I think it was just
Snoop's audio is in the very beginning of that video, and he goes, nice frog you got there. And it gets us every time.
yeah, you're right.
Okay. Yep, that's what that was then. Well,
Nice.
yeah, I will play it and not second guess it this time.
All right. Nice.
I love the trailer. I think
Very cool. Good music, I gotta say.
definitely. Then I also threw the Daily Splat images from the demo in here, so that way people would have a little bit of a chance to read that if they'd like. And then also the two zip files, a Mac and PC for the Dragonfly. And then a little disclaimer about, yes, we understand exactly how sketchy it is to put an executable file on a flash drive, but we also are fully doxxed. We put all of our names on here too. Like you could see our LinkedIn, like that'd be a pretty damn bold move if we put something that was actually malicious on here with all of our names. So anyways, that is on there as
Something
well.
notorious.
Yeah. Might even be beyond
Maybe a little too notorious.
Yes. That might have jumped the line from notorious into nefarious. So we got an NFT folder with collection image, and then I think I put one from each biome of the land synthesis devices in here, and tried to give it a pretty good selection of traits and other things to look at as they kind of skim through and get to see some of the cool ones. And then similarly for the frogs, I tried to just throw a whole bunch of them in there and give a good range of all of the different traits and all of the frogs that we know and love.
Nice.
I think.
So now I just need a way to attach the metadata to the files so that I can pull those right in train.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Ooh.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And so then one last folder in our red pill one, it was new Pangea Metaverse. So we put our Frogland branding in there. And then there is a little, there is a static camera clip from each of the biomes where you can kind of just get a little bit of motion from like the water and the grass. And then as well as the postcards that Shrimp made that are kind of getting their first little sneaky debut into the world. So we've got a couple of these clips through here.
The postcard versions haven't made it out into the wider world yet, have they?
They have not. I think I snuck them into the teasers when I posted those on YouTube. So they are the cover photos for each of the.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, but it's like, because you obviously don't see it in the actual video clip. So a little bit of a sneakier one.
I like that.
But yeah, so I think those are another really cool thing to kind of call out too, because they are the concept art, obviously, that Bugs created for the biomes before we even got those built. And then being able to show them like in a game state world with motion, I think is and then obviously then Shrimp did his treatment with Dee Dee's text, Frogzilla's text over top of this, and kind of got to again another really cool proof of that collaborative effort that we're all putting towards our entire world here.
And yeah, I'm a big fan of the sun bleached effect, where it's looks like it's faded, but it's just been left in the sun too long.
Yeah.
Otherwise kept well.
All right. So then back out to our root flash drive folder for my favorite file, the green pill file, which this one is described as the one that's like all like in lore, in character, kind of gives a really, really good representation of the community and what you guys have all been up to. Because I think we'll start in the root folder because otherwise I'll forget and I'll lose track of where I am. But of course, our what the fuck is a frog meme and why we always all the time. There is a file on here that I can't open or show that Shrimp chose to put on here, and I think that's going to have to be something that you guys try to open up on your own computers, should you have the software to do so. The LSD in our forgotten past. Yeah, exactly. The LSD.
For anyone looking.
That's where the virus is.
Exactly.
The virus.
Damn it. So we did the LSD and our forgotten is in there, the obsession board, which is always a good thing to harken back to, as well as the origin story trailer, which made another recent appearance on social media, as well as the text, and then the theme song that we had. I think it was Sabo Studios had introduced us to Kita and Damboy, and they ended up producing the song that was used on the full-length trailer. I believe it's called the Frogland Land trailer on YouTube, and so that is all content produced from some musicians in our community that were found by Sapo and brought on and kind of brought into our world in that way. And having that audio community generated was another kind of really, really cool thing that I thought was worth bringing up. And so then in our community projects folder, we have a lot of different content. There's kind of the all chill, no shill. There are a few audio files that had been made. Some kind of very, very early. I can't remember. Was this yours, Hazer? Or not this one? I think this was someone who was playing with Mid-Journey and kind of upscaling and
no, so it wasn't mine, but that's probably just somebody doing digital art.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I couldn't remember. I thought that was yours or not, but maybe definitely not then.
No, I'm definitely not that good at digital paint.
So yeah, so there are a couple. I think this one you did make, Hazer, but that was like back in.
Oh yeah, the Blender tests.
Yes, exactly. When Fuck the Donut originated.
I hate that donut. I refuse.
Yes. And there's actually a role in the Discord for those who have successfully beat the donut, and now they have the Fuck the Donut role.
There's a hole in it for a reason.
Yeah. I
just made that frog lex, so I don't have to get the Fuck the Donut role, because I never will.
There you go. Yes, there's some good community things in there. Carlito Froglini's, his restaurant in Frogland, Book of the Naked Frog, Legendary Cock Graveyard, of course. The Genesis with the Adventures of Fluffy Elliot, who is this is a comic book manga story being written by one of our other community members, which I think is just absolutely wild and super cool. Yeah. There are again a few different audio files. I think most of the audio came from Hazer, and then some other artwork from some members of our community. The Sapo Studios promo video, some of the ads or like seed trees. Their kind of intro is all on here. In concepts, we just have a whole bunch of like the very early concept art from DRI, both on the I think from Didi and from Bugs and Shrimp in here too. Yeah, obviously. And all the stuff, just all the way from like frog avatar models to different aspects of New Pangea and Frogland, different kind of art styles we explored. The billboards that we did during the land release and peas and all of that. Some of the very, very early stuff created here, which another type of the avatar body iterations. And it's kind of a way to kind of see where we've come from and where we've gotten to now with the land being imminent on the release and playability side of things. And then of course we had to have a derivatives folder with all of a bunch of our favorites kind of gathered from way back at the very beginning when the frogs looked a little bit different than they do now, all the way to where they've ended up now. I know Seppa Studios has got a couple in here. And then one from Susie Hughes. And then some of the very, very early derivatives. I think this was the Prisoner of Azkaban, I believe is his name, had made these AI frogs based off of my PFP, actually, like in October of last year. So I think over a year ago, and it's wild to see where the AI has.
Yeah, these look both really interesting and truly horrific.
Yeah.
They will haunt my nightmares.
They're very interesting for sure.
That's why the goal is still to make pretty things, because it is still very easy to go straight to nightmare fuel.
That's for sure. I think it was Froggy Fresh had made one earlier this year, maybe March or something, that was like a frog rat human hybrid that was terrifying, and I still can't look at it.
Man,
I made a frog lion last night, and I was like, I was trying to make a frog riding on a lion, and it made a frog lion, and I was like, this is the most beastly frog, but like this is kind of amazing.
Like, I guess maybe now we can actually, find out what Man Bear Pig really looks like.
Okay.
Yeah, it's terrific.
I'll see if I can figure that out real quick.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
In real time.
I've looked at Man Bear Pig. I've looked at Man Bear Frog. I've looked at a fair few combinations. It's some incredible technology. It really is.
Yes, that's for sure.
Yeah, the space of 1 year to see how far it's come along is mind blowing. I mean, I think it was only 8 years ago that people were generating some sort of, 64-bit pictures. They were just nothing compared to where we are now. It's insane to see how quick we've moved along.
So then we also have a frog DNA file, which has some of, so for those of you who might not have been blessed to see it quite yet, but Didi or Frogzilla, she makes like some of the most incredible abstract artwork. It's been a huge influence on the feeling of Frogland, and has definitely made its sneaky appearance in a few different places for the frog with a discerning eye, and I suspect will continue to do so. So I kind of she rather picked out some and threw those in here in the frog DNA, as well as our blinking frog GIF, which is again one of my favorites. And there are a few images that Shrimp put in here of the making of the frogs in Natron, which is again, and that one will open because this one is indeed the nightmare fuel that always drives me insane, because it's the frog with the braces. Oh God!
Yeah, those dentata braces that we decided to axe because they made like 99% of people like 1% of people found them funny. Like 99% of people we showed them to were like, "Oh my god, what is that? Keep it away from me, and make sure it doesn't go near any, playgrounds. Keep it away from school children."
Oh my god. Yeah, I cannot.
Mm-hmm.
Cannot do that, Frog.
Axing that trait was the right move.
Yes, it was. Absolutely. Yeah, so then there's a couple of different kind of run throughs, as well as I think this was more the original body types of the frog. Am I correct on that? And that was
Yes.
maybe one of the ones that was in between, a tweener.
Yeah.
A couple different eye types as well, and skin types that ended up not quite making it in all the way. But yeah, skin makeup, color correction, all those build outs in Natron, which are absolutely insane. And then of course the invisible tiara, which is always good to point out. And then I think those are the color maps, or I'm using the wrong term.
UV maps.
Textures for the frogs, materials. One of the two.
Yeah. Looks like textures.
Yeah.
Texture sounds like the right word.
Yeah. And then of course shrimp, being a shrimp.
Of
Because
course.
why not? And there's some more artwork of DDs, which I just love. Oh yes, there are a couple special frogs in here.
Putting these wonderful little creatures together was such a monumental task.
Oh my god. Yeah. Definitely insane. So then in the Frogland Bureau of Investigation folders, we've got some criminal dossiers with their titles on their Polaroid photos, which I thought was a cool thing to throw in there. And again, kind of a good reminder of where we started when we were having these. I think because the NFTs were originally just going to be the Polaroids and not just the frog.
Yeah, we were thinking about that. Nice. Not enough frog in the NFT. We needed more frog.
More frog. Sounds fair. And so then in the Frogs of Interest folder, we have from back from when we did the character backstory contest. I put everyone who submitted an entry. All of their PDFs are in here with the frog NFT as that they were describing and giving a backstory to, as well as the MP3 files that I read through them and gave those stories an audio component as well. So those are all in there, as well as a few different wanted posters that have for some notorious deeds that have gone on in the community, including Snoop Dogg, of course.
You can add that one.
Got a couple different editions of the Daily Splat in the Frogland News Network. A couple audio files from some of the audio things that we've been doing. Of course, we've got a good old leaks folder with the Frogland map quest. All the map pieces are in here, not the whole map, but all the pieces as well. And I kind of titled all of them in a way that hopefully gives a little bit of a pointer to people who are kind of wandering in and not really sure where to start with that whole puzzle.
You made it easy.
Well, they're not in number order. It's just a
hint of a direction.
There you go. We have a white rabbit folder, which I am not going to go into because that would be no fun. We got a couple different screenshots of the biomes pulled up in Unity, I believe this is, and kind of the way that those are being put together and being able to see a little bit on the dev side of things, which is always baffling and very cool. Some sneak peeks of some of the other things that we're working on, the Frogland Neural Network, a nibble, because of course that's always important. roll progress map for the Discord gameplay, and a couple other sneaky peek screenshots of a few different things. Then in our locations folder, we've got some artwork for the Dragonfly Social Club. I think those are all screenshots, and then the list of all of the different pieces of community content that were input in there, as well as the trailer again that Hazer had made. Just a couple different kind of show and tell things there, which you guys are all, of course, a lot more familiar with. And then some of the concept art for different locations in Frogland, including Borderlands, the casino, Murky Waters Bar, Nightshade Mansion, which looked eerily similar to a place that Frog Digital and I saw while in Colombia up on the mountain. Shackleton.
I do love that. I will also take the opportunity to quickly direct attention to Hazer's profile pic, which I'm pretty sure is the man bear pig he just generated.
Oh God.
Oh man,
Yep.
big.
I threw it in general.
Okay.
Terrifying.
So if anybody doesn't want to sleep tonight, go take a look in general chat.
So we also put a Notorious Gangs folder in here, which basically includes the lore for all of the gangs who have created and okayed a public version of their lore. Because I know not everyone's lore is public. There's some lore that is private from the gangs, whether that's because they're not ready to publish it or because they're keeping certain things to themselves, which I always think is very exciting. As well as some artwork representative of each of the gangs, and if they have any links, like there are some gangs that have tokens published OpenSea, like Horny's Angels and Double Barrel, and webbed files. I always say webbed files. And then there are a couple others that also have websites live and a couple of videos made, like Hazer had talked about earlier. And it's kind of a really good kind of run through all the things that our community has created and has made, which I think is always very important to draw attention to. And then we've got Sapo Studios, who they kind of have their whole backstory with images the whole way through. I'm not using the correct word there, but there's a whole lot of artwork that's gone into tracking their origin story. And I put some of the co-created files that we have on here. I think this is Law of the Frog, rapping over or freestyling over Sapo's audio track, and then some of the visuals that they've dropped over the months that it's been. Several of their different loops and episodes, visuals. A lot of really cool stuff on there. And then, of course, we had to have some shrimp screenshots, which includes our very favorite shrimp as the dead Jedi.
Hey, so that was him actually in Star Wars.
And
Give us a zoom in.
Yeah, get us in on the shrimp.
Yeah, I'm gonna say.
He looks an awful lot like Bigfoot of the Loch Ness Monster.
I know the video you mean.
Got our frog in the Mini Cooper, the obsession board. Oh God, the other braces frog.
Oh,
That one right there was why we pulled the trait.
Give us a zoom in, nevertheless, so people can just understand
I
how
love it.
horrifying it is.
It is absolutely terrifying. I can't handle
I'm
it.
a fan of the coats, though, so.
I know, I love the parka, but like this one gave me.
I also never had braces, so I think I have a different. Like I think McLovin.
This is also before we hooked up the eyeballs too, right? So like, there's just
Just soulless.
Nightmare fuel.
Oh God.
Terrifying. And then I think, oh yes, a little bit of maybe extra alpha in there, because despite what you guys think of Snoop and I, Shrimp also likes to drop a whole lot of alpha. So yeah, just some cool things in there, and I think that is I think that gets us all the way through everything in there, and that is something that we will be kind of continually adding to and updating as we go, and keeping up to date with all of the notorious happenings of our community and our team. So can be shared, can be looked at, and used.
contributed to. Right about that part.
Definitely, absolutely contributed to.
Yeah, totally. I mean, this is a semi-structured, non-exhaustive list of cool things made by the community and ourselves over the last more than a year.
Mhm.
I mean, so yeah, our operative being that it's mostly stuff made by the community. I don't know, a lot of stuff made by the community. So totally contributes. Like this is going to get updated.
Definitely.
And if you happen to bump into us at Art Basel, ask for a USB stick. We may still have some.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. I like the idea. I mean, I won't make a unilateral decision about what we should or should not be doing or handing out, but I really like this. So if it's up to me, I'll keep filling flash drives and keep handing them out as long as I'm allowed to.
There we go.
Art Basel. I'm thinking whether I can or should make a plan. I mean, the Cuban sandwiches were great.
Oh, they were great. And I still have that card that has 30% off at all of those restaurants. I'm definitely going back there. Nice. But yes, that being said, I know we're ticking closer to the hour. I think probably a few other things we want to touch on before we draw this town hall to a shut. I mean, I think probably most importantly, one thing worth noting is we're going to be moving the town halls to a monthly format to open up the second weeks so that we can have a slightly more casual chat, which is sort of a chill with the team Twitter spaces. So expect these sort of live streamed video town halls once a month, and then in place of the other town hall, we're going to be having a sort of a chill session. So just a quick heads up on that one. Anything we want to talk about, sort of some of the other initiatives that we have, Andy?
I think we were going to run through kind of a touch on the Horny's $2 Tuesdays a little bit. Was that Froggy Digital that was going to talk about that?
Yeah, I can take that. I'll try to keep it quick. I'm about to sneeze though, so I'll apologize for that. But we talked about so for anyone who isn't aware of that yet, what we've been doing for the past few weeks is in midweek having an open session where we dig into something that's a little bit more technical in the Discord, right? So we've done one session that was focused on tech specifically. We had one that we talked about 3D modeling design, and we had one where we talked about AI stuff, and we want to keep that going. It's fun for us, and I think that it's a great way for us to start to figure out how the creators in the community want to work with the tools that we're building. And the term that we use for that in software engineering is dog fooding, right? It's kind of a weird term, but it gives us the ability to make sure that we're building the right things, that they're meeting people's expectations, and that we're all getting on the same page. So we want to keep that going. I think though we're going to move that to Thursdays. Is that correct, everyone? Right?
Yeah, I think that's the plan.
Yeah, primarily because Tuesdays seems like kind of a hard day for everyone to meet during the week. Thursday evenings, at least here, U.S. East Coast times, the week's winding down a little bit, gives us more time to prepare and, have more of an open discussion. So this week I'll be picking up where I left off 2 weeks ago. Going to fix my streaming issues, and we're going to look at setting up a file new project on a website on a React application using Next.js and connecting up to our API endpoints. And I'm going to show you guys how to do the authorization, and I'll share that code out, which is like the first step to being able to use all of the different services that we're building right now that'll be open for everyone. You have to be able to log into that stuff. So that's a starting point for me and my track on this, based on some of the feedback I've heard from other people. We're going to start with JavaScript because the wallet connection stuff is a lot easier to do there. But then we're going to pretty quickly switch over and start talking about Python as well, because that's where all the cool machine learning AI tools are being built. So we can use both in this world. And I hope over the course of the series, over the course of the next couple of months, people can come in and learn. If you have no programming experience at all, that's cool. We're trying to start this at the very basic level, and that'll help me understand who's interested, what the skills and experience levels are of different people, and help me tailor that stuff so that you guys can actually use it. And in the course of those conversations, we'll all learn something and be able to build some cool stuff. So that's my piece.
So sounds like Techno Toad Thursdays.
Yeah. Well, I want to keep it branded for Horny because he's been sponsoring it. So maybe we can come up with that. And by sponsoring it, I mean he started it.
Good effort. Good old Horny.
We host it at his bar.
Yeah. There we go.
Very cool. Awesome. Well, so yes, Thursdays are the days to look out for now. Is there anything else from anyone else before we wrap up this town hall? Otherwise, I think we've hit our hour. Wonderful. Then in that case, I know it's a bit of a one-way conversation at the moment, not quite Twitter Spaces, but we appreciate you all for standing by and joining us on this town hall. Keep your eyes peeled for the next one, and we look forward to seeing any of you in Art Basel first week of December. Thanks again.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
Ribbit.
Ribbit.